In the world of pop music, touring is a major part of the industry, but not every highly publicized tour lives up to the hype. In this video, we'll look at 8 overhyped tours that flopped. Fifth Harmony, the 727 Tour. Coming off the success of their sophomore album 727, which featured the chart-dominating single Work From Home, Fifth Harmony seemed poised to become the next great girl group on the global stage. The tour was launched to continue that momentum, with over 30 dates across North America, South America, and Europe. At the time, Work From Home had peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified 5 times platinum in the US, while the album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, giving the group a solid platform to sell out arenas. However, the 727 tour suffered from one major issue: Camila Cabello's unexpected departure midway through the tour in December 2016. Though her exit wasn't until the North American leg, it cast a dark cloud over the rest of the shows, particularly the international leg. The group's chemistry noticeably shifted, and fans were left confused. They also cancelled a lot of shows at the end of 2016 and didn't really explain the reason. While the group did manage to complete most of the tour, the excitement was diluted by backstage drama. The 727 tour may not have been a commercial disaster, but it was a symbolic flop in terms of momentum. Instead of solidifying Fifth Harmony's dominance, the tour marked the beginning of the end. The group would eventually break up a year later. Kanye West St. Pablo Tour. When Kanye West announced the St. Pablo Tour in 2016, it was a groundbreaking moment in live performance. Promoting his The Life of Pablo album, which debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and made headlines, Kanye's tour featured a jaw-dropping floating stage that hovered above fans. The tour kicked off in August 2016 and was praised early for being visionary, but things quickly took a turn. Kanye's behavior on stage became increasingly erratic, with long rants about politics, the music industry, and personal feuds, including the now infamous one targeting Beyonce and Jay-Z. On November 19 in Sacramento, he abruptly ended his show after 3 songs and a 15-minute rant. Then days later, he rushed off stage when his then-wife Kim Kardashian was robbed in Paris. And just days later, the entire remaining leg of the tour was cancelled, and Kanye was hospitalized for exhaustion. Financially, the cancellation was catastrophic, as Live Nation reportedly lost millions. In the end, what could have been a revolutionary tour was cut short. It kind of started his downward spiral. Despite its ambitious start, the St. Pablo Tour stands as a cautionary tale of how taxing touring can be, especially when the artist struggles with mental health issues. Christina Aguilera Bionic Tour. In 2010, Christina Aguilera was set to relaunch herself as a futuristic pop star with her album Bionic and a high-profile North American tour to match. The album was her first studio release in 4 years, an attempt to blend electro-pop with edgy imagery. Bionic debuted on number 3 on the Billboard 200, quickly tumbled down the charts. It received mixed reviews, and commercially, it became her lowest-selling album at the time. The tour was then announced with 20-plus dates and was heavily promoted. However, just a month after the album dropped, Christina canceled the entire tour, citing time constraints and her commitment to the film Burlesque. Fans suspected a different reason: low ticket sales. Reports surfaced that several venues have struggled to sell even half their capacity, suggesting that the demand was not really there. In retrospect, Bionic has earned cult classic, with many revisiting the album and calling it ahead of its time. But back in 2010, the combination of a lukewarm album rollout and a cancelled tour left a major blemish on Christina's otherwise iconic career and started off her flop era. Nicki Minaj Nicki World Tour. Nicki Minaj's Nicki World Tour was supposed to be a major international tour featuring the queen of hip-hop and the rising star Juice WRLD as an opener, but it didn't really do as well as expected. The original tour was supposed to be called Nicki Hendrix Tour, featuring Future, but was abruptly changed and restructured in late 2018 due to production issues. The North American leg was entirely cancelled, and the tour was reborn as the Nicki World Tour, with Juice WRLD replacing Future for European dates. While the tour did go ahead in Europe, it was full of last-minute cancellations. In Bordeaux, France, Nicki cancelled just 90 minutes before showtime, citing power issues at the venue. This became a repeated pattern. Multiple shows were either cancelled or postponed, and some haters speculated the real issue was lackluster ticket sales. Though Nicki later clarified that she was being targeted unfairly, the damage was already done. Footage of angry fans chanting Cardi B's name outside of one of the cancelled shows only added fuel to the public perception that Nicki's reign was ending. Financially, the tour failed to match the success of her previous Pink Print tour. While exact figures for the Nicki World Tour were never fully released, estimates suggest that many venues were not filled. The chaotic rollouts and multiple rebrands made the tour feel messy and unprepared. Worse, it became one of the final major performances from Juice WRLD before his tragic passing in 2019. Iggy Azalea, The Great Escape Tour. When Iggy Azalea exploded onto the scene in 2014 with her chart-topping hit Fancy and the platinum-certified album The New Classic, many assumed she was here to stay. Her debut made her the first female rapper since Lauryn Hill to top the Billboard Hot 100, and she was nominated for multiple Grammys. Capitalizing on that momentum, Iggy announced the Great Escape Tour, a massive arena tour scheduled for spring of 2015. However, behind the scenes, things quickly unraveled. Originally slated to kick off in April 2015, the tour was postponed to the fall, with vague reasoning about production delays, but fans and insiders sensed deeper issues. Within weeks, the entire tour was cancelled altogether. According to reports, poor ticket sales were a significant factor. Many large venues had sold only a small fraction of seats. For example, at the Staples Center in LA, just a few thousand tickets were reportedly sold for a venue that holds over 18,000. The cancellation marked a turning point in Iggy's career. After the Great Escape Tour collapsed, her image took a hit, and her momentum never fully recovered. Shortly after, her planned second album Digital Distortion was cancelled, and her mainstream presence began to fade. She has since attempted several comebacks. The Great Escape Tour is often cited as the beginning of her commercial decline. Madonna, Madame X Tour. The Madame X Tour was one of Madonna's most experimental ventures. Following her 2019 album Madame X, which debuted on #1 on the Billboard 200, but quickly dropped off the charts, she announced a radically different tour, intimate theater venues rather than arenas. While this idea sounded exclusive and innovative, it proved to be a logistical and financial headache. The tour consisted of 75 scheduled dates, but because of Madonna's knee and hip injuries, 14 shows were either postponed, outright cancelled. Unlike her previous world tours, which grossed hundreds of millions, like her Sticky and Sweet tour, which remains one of the highest grossing $408 million, Madame X brought in a modest $51 million, according to Billboard. While that figure is still high compared to most artists, it was significantly lower than what the Queen of Pop was used to. The smaller venues created an intimate feel, but also limited revenue. Fans reported inconsistent sound, delays, and Madonna frequently stopping shows to address production issues or injuries. While Madame X was a bold artistic move, the tour's execution was not really there. Jennifer Lopez, This Is Me Live. Jennifer Lopez's This Is Me Live, The Greatest Hits Tour was poised to be a celebration of her illustrious career to support the release of her album This Is Me Now in 2024.
You just announced that This Is Me Now, the tour.
Yes,
it's off this summer.
You did. Yes.
This summer.
This summer.
You're going right back in.
We're going in.
The tour promised a nostalgic journey through her greatest hits. However, it was abruptly cancelled, with J-Lo citing personal issues, specifically to focus on her marriage to Ben Affleck. Contrary to speculation about poor ticket sales, reports indicated that 78% of tickets had been sold, suggesting that the cancellation was not due to a lack of public interest. But coming off a flop album, it signaled that she was in her flop era. It also left her diehard fans disappointed. Katy Perry, The Lifetime's Tour. Katy Perry's highly anticipated return to the global stage with the Lifetime's tour, her first major tour in 7 years, was met with a mix of excitement and controversy. Launching in April 2025 to support her 7th studio album 143, the tour featured an ambitious sci-fi storyline, with her battling an evil AI overlord. Despite the elaborate production, the tour faced criticism for its choreography, with clips from the concert going viral online for being cringe. Critics described the choreography as middle school musical level, and the show's concept was seen as disjointed and messy. Ticket sales in North America were underwhelming, with reports indicating that up to 70% of the seats remained unsold in certain cities. The tour's challenges were led by the lukewarm reception of 143, which debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200, but quickly fell off the charts, making it one of her most hated albums. Katy's public perception has been souring for years now, and following a flop album and that joke of a trip to space, she is firmly in her flop era, and the tour is only adding to that. We'll see if she can turn it around. Which overhyped tours that flopped did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.